independent, and cool. But what you don't know is that she is so much more than that. She's brave when it comes to facing her fears, like when she's working at camp and must deal with a snake and 12 completely freaked out 7-year-olds. She's creative and has an eye for detail and beauty that is displayed in her amazing art that takes everyone's breath away. Her hard-working nature makes her strive to do her best and has proven that with time and effort, good things are sure to come your way. She has also taught me a lot through the years. How to go through tough math problems and not asking stupid questions. Learning about the world by listening to NPR on the way to school every single morning. But most of all, finding time to do things you love. Playing on a fun soccer team your senior year, kayaking down the Ocoee, and hiking to Rainbow Lake with your friends. She stands up for me and pushes me because she's that kind of a sister. The kind who's incredibly loyal and loves you no matter what. She is my role model, my mentor, but most of all, my big sister, and I love her more than even she can imagine. I'm now proud to introduce to you my big sister, Sarah Elizabeth Shaw.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you to all my guests for taking time out of your lives to be here today. Now I'm going to tell you a story, because as Virginia Woolf said, to give you my life, I must tell you a story. And this story begins, as many stories do, with once upon a time. Once upon a time, there lived a little girl. This little girl wanted to do such great things in her life. But because her life had regulations and procedures, in order to do these great things, she had to fill out application after application. But no worries. This little girl was a whiz at filling out forms and answering questions. She had done it all her life. She was always the first to raise her hand with the correct answer, and the one with the gold stars gracing the tops of her papers. But on these particular applications, there was a question that gave her pause. So, as a veteran test taker, she decided she'd skip it and come back to it. But this same question kept reappearing in many different forms. Paint a picture of who you are for us. Tell us about yourself and who you are. Tell us your story. Who are you? Who are you? 3 little words, harmless and separate, but together, they are terrifying. And the little girl was terrified. She didn't know how to paint a picture of who she was or how to tell her story. She didn't know who she was exactly, but she wanted to do such great things. No application could stand in the way of that. Well, she thought, as her mind began swarming and her stomach churning, I've always had such wonderful mentors. Perhaps they can tell me who I am. First, she visited the science teachers, and when she asked them who she was, the biologist readily replied, oh, that's easy. You are a Homo sapien, a biped who stands at 5 feet 2 inches. You have brown hair and brown eyes. Then the physicist cut in, and you typically walk with a velocity magnitude equal to 1.3 meters per second. And the chemist added, but when it comes down to the basics, you are just a combination of atoms. Is that all that I am? A combination of atoms? That's not who I am. There's more to me than just that, the little girl thought. She left her scientific mentors feeling even more confused. But since she'd always taken comfort in numbers, she journeyed to the math department. Well, if you look at the statistics, you have this GPA, this SAT score, and you have been alive 6,545 days. That's what the numbers say. And as I can see here, you also have this test score in this class. Why? You are a math scholar. You think analytically. But that's not all that I am. I'm not just a number or a scientific finding. And I don't just love math. There is more to me, the little girl insisted. The historians told her she was a fellow lover of history, and the English professor told her she was a literary analyst, although a beginner at that. The principal of her school told her with a distracted glance as she flipped through files, oh, you're that smart girl, aren't you? After hearing all these black and white and absolute answers, the little girl decided it was high time she ventured outside the realm of academia to discover her answer. I've been going to camp nearly all my life. Perhaps my camp counselors can tell me. Why, little girl, you are an adventurer. You are outgoing and daring and full of life. You are also patient and kind, especially with your fellow campers. You are a quintessential camp kid. That's who you are. Her camp counselors were confident in their answer. I do love camp, but I don't think I'm only a camp kid. There is more to me. The little girl was determined to figure this out and to find her answer. As she crossed the playground, a few girls stopped her. We heard that you were asking people to tell you who you are. Well, we can tell you that. Easy. You are a teacher's pet. You brag a lot. You're short and not very pretty. You also might want to lose a few pounds. Those pants look a little tight on you. The little girl hurried away before the first tear could fall. But then she realized something. All day long, she had been asking for other people to tell her who she was. She had been searching and searching and hadn't been satisfied by anything she found. Most of the answers and definitions had some validity of truth in them. But the little girl wasn't just one of those definitions alone. As she brushed the tears from her face, she realized she was a little bit of everything. She was a combination of atoms that loved to learn, that loved to explore, and that loved to live. Every mentor, every person she asked had influenced her and molded her into what she was. She was everything they said, and then some. But that didn't mean they could define her. After listening all day long, she finally figured it out. Only she could answer the question, who are you? Because only she knew the correct answer. Only she could turn the you ares into the I ams. She could choose to say anything on those applications. And whatever she chose wouldn't confine or restrict who she was or who she would become. Who she was, her life, her story, were hers alone to create and to tell. Because in the spirit of Virginia Woolf, only she could give her life by telling her story. Once she realized that, that little girl went on to do such great things in her life. And she lived. Yes, she lived happily ever after. Thank you.